Hello, it's update day. The update has released today, so if you're watching this, it is available for you to download right now. Of course, it'll be in the description, the comments. If you're in the Discord, there'll be a link in the Discord. So if you don't care about anything else, you already know everything in the update, hop on it right now, download it, and let me know what you think. But if you do want a showcase because you haven't heard of this until now, you're brand new, or if you just want like a refresher, then you can stay around because that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to be talking about everything that has been added. Now, the main thing, well, not really the main thing, arguably the main thing, I guess, but there's been a lot of mechanics added, but the main thing is the Vatican City has a focus tree now. It also has a balance of power you might see here. Now, for now, this is entirely cosmetic, but in the future it will have some purpose. It's just to show you where you stand. As you can see, Pope Pius is leaning towards the Allies, as he did historically. But yeah, let's get into the focus tree. And as you can probably notice, it is a little bit bigger than last time I showed you, and that's because I've added two paths here. Both more interesting paths, more what's the word? Harder paths. I wanted to add more like hard things to do, because if you don't play this nation to have an easy time, right? You play this nation to have a challenge. But it still works about the same way everything else. These are for you to do in the meantime when you have no focuses to do. This just gives you traits, and then you get to unlock these depending on what pope you have. This is your pre-death tree. There's a couple different choices here. Of course, you can help with the Spanish Civil War. You do your speeches against the communists and the fascists, and then Pope Pius will start to die. He has a heart attack. You get the call of the Swiss Guard, just to be a little bit more careful. And then you have your first choice of the focus tree, which is, should we let him live longer and continue his pro-ally situation, or should we let him die quicker? And this will benefit you if you're going on the left side of the tree, which is the more pro-Axis side. And if you do that, you get these cardinals, you get a couple of ideas, or national spirits, sorry. If you do this side, you get to hurt the Bavarians and the Catholic Italians by getting them angry against their government by doing a speech. And you actually get to help the New World Catholic countries. All of these guys get bonuses for a while. So that's nice. These aren't permanent malices and bonuses. They're just for a couple 100 days, I think. But that's very cool. But either way, he will eventually die. And then once he dies, let me show you. It'll reset your alignment. And you can see now we're just led by the Cardinals. They're voting right now. And in the future, I do want to add a mechanic for during this period in between the Pope dying and the election. The Axis and the Allies can maybe influence it somehow. I'm not quite sure. I do want to add that though, just a little influence mechanic. Maybe it would have something to do with this balance of power mechanic. But for now, nothing really happens. You just wait. So that's something for the future. You get this nice event. I need to add more news events as well. There's some paths in this that definitely need a news event. Very major things happen in some of these paths. But for now, that's the only one. But there are a bunch of country events. Like the tree is not empty. A lot of these give events, ideas, national spirits, stuff like that. Then eventually you'll get this event on who to vote for, and this is where you choose your path. As you can see, these are locked, so to unlock them you have to pick a certain person. So you can peruse this and look, okay, well, what pope do I need to do this path? What pope do I need to do this path? And then who do I want to pick here? And then also who has the better traits here. So those are the things you'll take into consideration. But the paths split up like this. You have the more anti-fascist and communist path. You have the more anti-communist and fascist path. And then you have the some of the sub-paths that are within it. This is called the Voice of the Martyred. This actually breaks into two more sub-paths. And then this is the historical route. This is boring, but it's for the AI to do. Like I said, eventually I'll have a way for the major powers to influence the Vatican if the Vatican's AI controlled. But for now, this is just how it will go historically. And then you also have the Bolsheviks threaten Catholicism more. And this leads into your more axis aligning paths, which also splits up into three paths here. So that's very interesting. Let's start off with this. This goes through, you get kind of a moral alliance with Italy at least. And you do have some problems with the progressive parts of the country. And you have two choices here. You can either just say F it and rip up the pact altogether that made you independent in 1929, and this will have you ask for integration with Italy. Or you can do a coup, overthrow this pope, the Archbishop of Milan. You overthrow him and you pick someone that's even more Axis aligned, and you can commit yourself to Italy either for joining their faction or again being annexed, or you can actually attack Italy, which is more of a neutral path in and of itself. and avenge their invasion of you in 1870 in the loss of the Papal States. You can get the Papal States back. You rise up. The Catholics rise up in Italy and some other spots as well. You get cores on, I believe, this territory right here, and you can actually gain more cores if you push up here. You can gain cores, I believe, Venice, Lombardy, Savoy over here. So you can get cores that way, and it's a hard path, but it is rewarding. Again, this is just a submit path. This is your historical path. And then this is your more allied leaning path. And these are both accessible to both the historical pope, which is going to be Pope Pius the 12th, and then also the Polish bishop. He can do this as well, and he actually has some nicer bonuses here. So me personally, I would pick him. And then you can choose between a path where you try to get on the side of the Allies, on the side of the United States, and saying, hey, we have the voice to make Catholics rise up in Italy. We can cause a stir and help you with your invasion of Italy. And that's what you'll do there. Or you can kind of fall off the deep end. This is the most cursed path, and say this war is just causing destruction, and it's how it's been for hundreds of years. We need to stop this. God giving people free will has just failed. People have done horrible things with it, and we are also going to do horrible things, but we are going to do them with God on our side and with the goal of uniting the entire world into one country and stopping all of this mess from happening. So this is definitely the more cursed path, but it is very fun. The hardest one, of course, because you're at war with everyone. But you do get a bunch of Catholics rising up that help you in Italy and Bavaria, other Catholic places you would expect, like parts of Poland, Spain and Portugal, of course. There's even some rising up in the New World in the United States and New Jersey and Arizona. Mexico, of course, has a lot. Peru has a lot. Paraguay. Cuba and the Philippines, these huge Catholic places, people will rise up there, so that's cool. And you actually get cores on the entire Catholic world, or close to the entire Catholic world. So you do get the most core population out of that path, but it is also, of course, the hardest path because you're going up against the whole world. But you do have the benefit of having a lot of cores, being able to steal their factories and all that, and making a good army out of it. So that's definitely the path I'm most excited to play, is the Schizo one, of course. But these are all really interesting. But yeah, you pick your pope, and there you go. You get, this is Pope Marinus, he's the Pole. And then you can pick what you want to do, and just go ahead with it. So very cool. I won't actually go into these because I don't want to spoil it, but it's been pretty fun testing out so far. That is all that I had to talk to you about the Vatican. Now, this being a state mod, I think it is best to next talk about states and provinces. And there's only 2 added in this update. I know that's not a lot, but there is a lot of province changes. You can see the first state right here is Guantanamo Bay. You have the naval station here, and now the United States owns this. Cuba has a core state on it, so that's cool. And then the next state is actually in Greece. Greece got a lot of work done. This is I don't even know how to say that. But this state is the one that Bulgaria invades when Italy collapses. So once Italy takes Greece, they're the Hellenic state. But then Italy collapses in the Civil War. The Germans take control of the Hellenic state. And Bulgaria, who actually owned this, gets to own this as well. Right outside Thessaloniki. They don't get Mount Athos, which, by the way, is now its own province in VP. But they do get this. So that's very cool. And speaking of new cities, I guess let's talk about new cities. There's quite a bit of them. We have Polygyros right here. This was changed. Mount Athos is new, of course. And I split up some more cities. I have Sofia here split up into 2 boroughs right here. Romania split up into 2 boroughs right here. I have a new city for Romania right here. And of course this changes if Hungary owns it. There you go. Very cool. I have this, this is where my family's from, Buchelberg. I thought I'd add that just for fun. And I've also added the city of Oxford to the UK. Speaking of the UK, I also split up Birmingham, so Birmingham now has 2 different boroughs in it as well. This one and the Dudley. And then I also, of course, split up London into 6 provinces on both sides of the river. So you have London, Fulham, Hackney, Greenwich, Lambeth, and Battersea now. That's, of course, how it should be. I've also added to the game Egypt and Sudan. I've changed some borders around here, added this a little bit. They are both controlled by the UK. This is Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. It has its own little national spirit that should stop lag from this extra country. We'll see how it works in testing. I made changes to Australia. I've added this lake right here. I've changed this river right here with Perth. And I've also added Rottnest Island as an island, as well as this island south of Perth right here, which wasn't in the game before. I'm looking forward to splitting up Perth as well. Biggest city in the world. And I've also changed the Rhineland a little bit. You've probably noticed all I've done is make these borders follow the river. Very self-explanatory. In base game, they're like this. They control that for some reason. Mainz is not controlled by this. It's controlled by Hessen. Stuff like that is now fixed. I know it's still not accurate DMZ borders, but we'll get there when we get there. This is just for nicer borders across the Rhine, which I think most people would want. So that's it in terms of provinces. I have added a couple new quality of life features to the Balkans. Albania and Montenegro, when they were released by Italy, after the breakup of Yugoslavia, will have a different like kind of green color to them. They'll have their own leaders, they'll have their own new names, and the same is true when Italy collapses. They will turn a different color. They will have a different name, different flag, all that, because Germany will control them now. So that's a very cool feature that makes everything feel a little bit more realistic. And then also, speaking of Balkans, these eastern Balkan countries have been changed as well. They now have coups. So in real life, the countries that revolted against the Axis, switched sides, signed armistices with the Soviets, now do in real life, or now do in Hoi 4, when conditions are met. So that's very cool right here, the Fatherland front over here in Bulgaria, and they'll switch sides. Hungary has its first attempt, and then the German occupation here, and then their second attempt, and then the establishment of the government here in Hungary, the puppet government. So that should make it both a little bit harder for Germany and also a little bit more interesting, a little bit more realistic there, so very cool. And also I've added a new country here, it's called Occupied Macedonia, and it spawns when Bulgaria switches sides. The Germans will occupy this area, and it will be its own country. That's very cool. And the last big change is changes to Operation Sea Lion. Now when you do Sea Lion, and Canada is in the Commonwealth, they are friends with the UK, all that, they will actually take up the mantle as the leader of the Allies. They will no longer be a puppet, and that is just so that they don't capitulate alongside the UK. So now when you kill the UK, it won't end the war. You'll be able to occupy the home Isles, bar Ireland, but you will still be at war with the Allies. You won't be able to just annex Canada, annex Guyana, annex Jamaica, annex South Africa, British Raj, all of that, which is just ridiculous in base game. That's no longer going to be possible, but it will, of course, push the war very far away from you, since you are killing Britain itself. It'll be very hard. Canada will have to try to reinvade the Isles, I guess. Very interesting. But that is about it. I guess that's one of the major features. Another major feature, of course, is Egypt. Another major feature is going to be the coups. And, of course, the biggest feature in my mind is the this focus tree for the Vatican. This was a lot of fun to make. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys do. I'm looking forward to playing this myself, making videos about it, my little playthroughs of the Vatican City. And I'm also excited to work on the next update. There's a lot going on in the next update, so I am both nervous and excited to get working on it, and then finally we can work on China. But yeah, that is about it. Without further ado, I'm going to leave you to go do something else, or if you do want to play the mod, I'm going to leave you now so you can download it yourself. Thank you very much for my members. We only have one right now, one person who's done it, and his or her name is Pokio, so that is very cool. You get certain benefits with that, and you are part of my little club. If you want to join, it's pretty cheap compared to other ones. But yeah, that's about it. I will see you next time. Goodbye.